Oh my god. Oh my god, guys, it's Monday. What's up, weirdos? How you doing? What's going on? It is Monday the 15th. Monday the 15th of August. 2022'erd. Do you got your shades on? Do you got your pants pegged tight? You got your hen and a finnis? You got your hen and a finnis, my fools? Yeah. I can't do this show with these goofy glasses on. Literally got those as a joke for a thing on a video, and I just left them on my desk. You know? What do you want me to do? What's up, everybody? It's Monday. It's good to be here. It's the 15th of August. We already talked about it. We discussed it at length. It's the 15th of August, 2022. Yeah. How y'all doing? Is your weekend okay? Did your weekend go all right? How did your weekend go? Was it good? Was it fresh? Was it fresh? Was it a fresh, tight, hot weekend? Was it a fresh, tight, hot weekend? Was it? How was your weekend? Did you hit the like button? Because I'm supposed to stay at the beginning of the stream. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, become a member, and sponsor the channel and go crazy. You know, make it rain because you're a baller, right? Shot caller on the Impala, you know, all that stuff. You got all that stuff. You have all that stuff happening, and it's very important. Okay. Whew. Okay. Now that we've done it, no sunglasses here. It's raining. Well, I don't know where you are. Why is it raining? Sky Dancer, I don't know where you are or why it's raining or what. I don't know why. Why? Why is it raining? It's 80 degrees and sunny here, so I don't know what you're talking about. That's silly. That's goofy. That's silly and goofy. U.S. Scaper says fresh fade. That's right. It's Monday. I go get my hair cut every other Monday. And this part's like sticking out today. I don't know why. It's either too short or too long. Who knows? But it was like poking out. I don't know. When I look over at the monitor, it looks like it's sticking way out. And then I invariably poke my head just out of a sort of Pavlovian sort of response. You know, it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, poke my head. Yeah. But yeah, that's how we do every other Monday. Now I told you guys the story, and if you want to go back and find the live stream where I told you the story about finding the barber at the new house up north here, up north, new house, barbershop. Alyssa says, "Wow, every other week." Yeah, every other week. Women seem to have like no comprehension of like A, how much barbers cost, and B, how fast your hair grows, because you have long hair. Most ladies have long hair, or at least have had long hair most of their lives, so they don't realize like when the hair's here and then it grows like this long, you're shaggy, right? And it doesn't take very long for that to happen, because I drink my V8 or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Alyssa says, I get my hair done every 3 months, but it costs $100, and so I'm fine with that. Yeah, and you probably tip like $30 or something on top of that. Yeah. Haircut, well, barbershops have gotten more expensive, that's for sure. They've definitely gone like way up in price. But I think a haircut's like $14 or something. So, you know what I mean? Yours is 100 versus 14, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I could go 3 or 4 weeks between a haircut, but so like one of the big problems with like going 3 weeks to 4 weeks to 5 weeks or anything like that is that, like, the continuity starts to get off if you're filming long-form projects, right? So if you're filming a long-form project, it'll become like, people are like, oh my God, what? So if you guys remember when Superman had a mustache, if you've forgotten, the actor who played Superman was playing a different part in a different movie, and they had him come back to film some pickups, right? So they come film some some parts of the movie that they wanted refilmed, some reshoots and stuff like that. And he had a mustache, and they digitally removed the mustache with millions and millions of dollars worth of expensive studio nonsense. Yeah. So, yeah, it's one of those things where it was totally distracting to try and watch the Superman movie, even though his mustache was digitally removed. Like, you could still, it was crazy, right? So even that situation was enough to, like, throw people off. So if you're feeling something long term, Crypt Keeper Aquatics says, y'all crazy going and spending that much to get your hair did up, with a crying smiley face. But one of your last comments was, hey, Joel, quick comment about the title of the stream. Climate change is a fancy term for weather manipulation machine. It's all planned by government officials. So, yeah, do whatever you want. I mean, I think Crypt Keeper, you live down in Texas. You probably smell bad and you got dirty, nasty hair and stuff. Do what you want, right? You can be a stinky hippie. I don't care. I'll still hang out with you. Doesn't make me mad. You can be a stinky long-haired hippie man. I don't care. Or woman, or non-binary. I personally don't care. Do whatever you want. Have dreadlocks. Have dreadlocks that coming out of your armpits. I don't care. I really don't. Do your own personal thing. It doesn't bother me. But I like to get my hair cut. I used to have a mohawk forever, and I used to cut my own mohawk. And I used to cut my own mohawk. And then I used to have my spouse do it. And to be honest with you, like, it's very encumbering to have your spouse cut your mohawk for you. It just really is. Like, you're going to get a little hair all over your house. They got to get the clippers out. You got to be like, hey, you got 10 minutes to cut my hair, blah, 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 all that kind of crap. So I just go to a barber shop and have them cut it, So, oh, you're in New York and not a hippie. Well, I don't know. Cut your hair however you want. Shave it all off. Nair yourself. Wax your body. I personally, I don't care. You all are allowed to do whatever you want with your hairstyling, whether you live in New York or Texas or China or Zimbabwe or South Africa or Thailand or Vietnam or whatever. Go do whatever you want with your hair. I don't care. I don't. Feel free. Do what you like. Purple hair, blue hair, brown hair. I've had it all, and so you can do whatever you like. Yeah. But I think the issue I have there is that if you're criticizing other people getting their hair cut, and then meanwhile making the comment that climate change is a conspiracy theory for weather changing machines, for weather manipulation, then yeah, what are you gonna do? Shout out to Wesley, who was first in the chat today, who is our newest dad to the Discord. He's the newest dad in our Discord, also from the Netherlands, who was pointing out to me earlier that I may or may not be making it to Vivarium. I right now it's like 20%, 15%, maybe 10% that I'm going to make it to Vivarium this year. It was my goal to go to Vivarium this year, but there's three reasons why this is going to be an issue. And the first issue is Victoria, my spouse. You guys, you know her, you love her. She's the best. She's the greatest. We love her. Victoria wants to internationally travel. It's one of her big goals in life. And she gets upset if I internationally travel, and she still hasn't yet. Because she hasn't. She still hasn't. So it gets her up. She gets upset. And, I don't know if she's, like, mad, but it's just upsetting. She gets sad that she doesn't get to go. I assumed that Vivarium would have been fine for us to go because she has between the dates of October 15th and January 5th, she has a no vacation, no travel, no blah, blah, blah from her work, right? That you can't be gone for that period. It's a freeze out, lockout, whatever the hell you want to call it. You can't be flying to Europe at that time of year, doing the job that she does, right? So I thought, wow, we're right on the cusp of that, but we should be fine because Vivarium's like October 1st and 2nd, I think. I think that's the dates for it. I'm going to be off by a day or two or whatever. But I was like, word, we'll be able to go. We'll be able to be back. Vicky will be able to go back to work. And she was not going to be able to do that. They said, like, no, like, you're a manager. You got to be here for the lead up into those dates. What it is it's called AEP. AEP. What is this? Hold on, I'm burping. Trying not to burp into the microphone. That's my goal. My goal for this live stream is to not burp into the microphone. That's it. That's all we got. The Medicare Annual Enrollment Period is what it's called. Yeah, Annual Enrollment Period, AEP. So the 15th to December 7th is when it is. October 15th to December 7th is when it is. And then they don't want you going. They don't want the manager people, going anywhere the next 3 weeks because it ends up with this, like, a lot of people at the end of the year, like, doing whatever, and so she can't go. Long story short, Vicky can't go because of work. She has to be at work, and she needs to be available for work. So she can't go. So the issue is that I'm going to end up going by myself if I go. So that's fine. But I don't want to, like, upset her. But then also at the same time, part 2, issue 2, Electric Boogaloo, is that it's going to cost a bunch of money. Like, obviously, plane tickets aren't free, hotels aren't free, and ever since the pandemic, COVID, whatever you want to call it, prices are a little up and whatnot, a little elevated. So I'm trying to consider if, like, price is worthwhile, or if I just kind of knuckle down and put that money in the bank towards projects here that are ongoing that need to get done. And one of them would be building my new office/fish room space that'll be the temporary space here. And I haven't even started on it. I moved a bunch of stuff around. I got some measurements done, and I basically have nothing done. I mean, I might have a little bit done, but it doesn't really amount to much of anything at this point. So I was thinking, like, well, maybe I can just work on that and save that money to work on that so I can make YouTube videos about my own fish tanks as opposed to other stuff, right? So that would be the goal right now, is to get that up and running, get a couple tanks up and running, and get my tanks going again. Get my fish back. Get my plants growing again, and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that's probably where I'm going to end up putting my energies because of those two reasons. I think that's really what's going to go on. And then, issue number three is just like, I don't know if I have anything coordinated yet. Like Wesley, Johan, those they both come to mind immediately to, like, that I want to group up with and, like, kind of do some projects while I'm in Netherlands, but also at the same time, like, we haven't really organized anything yet. So it's August 15th, September, October. I mean, it's only 6 weeks away, right? Is that right? Hold on, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 weeks away. So, I just don't even know if there's like enough time to like get everything organized and all that kind of stuff at this point. Because a couple months ago, it was told to me that like, well, Vicky can't go. So I was like, well, shoot, I guess I won't reserve any tickets or nail anything down with anybody because gonna be stuck. But then also at the same time, it sort of makes me think, well, wait a minute. Maybe we'll be able to like go out to Europe in like March or something. If there's some other convention in Europe that's worth going to, people should better email me about it because I'm gonna check it out. If it's not in that time period, I need it to be not in that time period, and then we'll be able to do it. Let's see. Manager roles suck. Not necessarily. Yeah. It's not necessarily sucks to be a manager, but like, it's hard when you have things that you want to do, and because of your position, it's like you might be able to do them because you make enough money being a manager, but then you're not able to ever actually do them because you can't take the time off to actually go do it. Right? That's the big issue in the States. I'm not sure what it's like in the rest of the globe, but that definitely is how it is in the States, where it's like you become a manager or whatever, and you never get to take a vacation or anything like that because there's never a time when you can go away. Because the team is so dependent on you to like have your fingers in it at all time. You know what I'm talking about. The pie? Right, yeah. Alyssa, message above was for you. What was that? What are you talking about? Oh. Yeah, my hair gets real ratty if I don't get it trimmed by a professional once in a while, and I don't like my natural hair color. Prefer 2 shades darker. Get it all done at once. Everybody should do what they want. Be true to who you are. It is their body, whatever makes them happy. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, here's the issue. Like, the most cost-effective thing that you can do with your hair, to jump back on the hair conversation, is just shave your head. Just shave your head. Now, here's the issue. If I have shaved my head many times before in the past, and most people ask me, are you okay? Is everything all right if I shave my head? So I think they think I'm sick or something. I don't know. I think that's the impression that I give people if I shave my head. They're like, oh, my God, maybe he has cancer or something. That's the vibe I get. So I don't shave my head because of that. Mainly because I don't really like want to talk to a bunch of strangers that are like, dude, are you okay, bro? Probably because I have big ears and they stick out, and I probably look like I do have cancer or something, like brain cancer or butt cancer, right? Yeah, probably the butt. I probably look like I have butt cancer. That's probably the deal. Yeah. That means a lot of. That means a lot of love for the woman if you stay. I'm convinced. I'm confused. Erna, I am very confused. Although you are in Belgium, so I probably would have met you if I had gone to Vivarium. See, I want to go to Vivarium. The reality is, like, I think the only chance that I have to go to Vivarium at this point is to probably, like, bug Corey and see, like, what his plans are, and maybe I can tag along on one part of it or something like that. Regardless, let's jump into today's topic that actually is today's topic. Oh, we lost a bunch of people. A bunch of people left. They left the live stream. Somebody else is live. Probably some gamer. There's probably a gamer went live. So we lost some folks. But regardless, hit the like button because it's important, I guess. It's a thing I'm supposed to say it a million times. So you guys can do it. Do the thing. Do it. Hit the like button. But here's an article from the AP News that sort of inspired me kind of thinking, a lot of people got very upset about, and I can't even remember what the bill was. It was like HR 1587 or something like that. Isn't that what it was? Can't remember what it is. 1457. House Bill 1457. Will limit the amount of aquarium fish coming in. No, I'm not gonna disable my ad blocker for your stupid website that probably you didn't even make yourself. Let's see. Oh my God, this isn't even an article about. Stupid. You know, you click on an article, you should know. Like, I almost feel like if you click on an article and the first thing that pops up is the ad blocker thing, turn off your ad blocker. It's like, this probably isn't even like a real article, right? I believe it was House Bill 1547, but a lot of people got upset about that bill, you know, because it had funding in it to start managing the import of aquarium fish and all sorts of fish coming in and out of the U.S. basically. And a lot of people got upset. People were mad. They were, oh my God, they're gonna cancel the aquarium hobby. They're gonna cancel it. And the reality to me is that when I hear people talking like that, I start to realize, like, the first thing that I get from that is I don't think you understand exactly what it is that you're talking about. That's the first vibe that I get from people is like, they're going to cancel the aquarium hobby? Oh, so you're someone who's super worried about, air quote, cancel culture, right? Which is weird in its own right. That would be something you were super concerned about. But even if they did, like, say no more aquarium, like, it would have no validity to it, to the statement. If they're like, there's no more fish coming in, okay, start breeding your fish, right? I was a fan of that bill because it looked like we would start to see some funding for some actual professionals to actually work on the importing side of things. If you've ever imported from anywhere, the one thing that you will definitely notice is like, oh my God, these guys are understaffed, right? Most of the airports don't have staff on hand. Most of the ports don't have people on hand 24 hours a day to be checking and allowing imports to come in and out. So, like, one of the biggest issues is that you'll go, oh, well, I tried to import something and it sat at the port for 2.5 days and oh my God, the government's so bad, you know. And it's like, well, this isn't necessarily the government. It's just whoever's working at the port. There's not enough people there to get all the stuff through, right? So that's why I thought that bill would be more or less a positive influence, because you actually need the funding to actually do anything, right? You can't just hire people and not pay them, right? Just on the most basic understanding, I think we would all understand you can't just hire people and not pay them, right? So just on that basis is that, like, well, at least you could start hiring people at the point of import so that we could expedite that process. We'll probably start seeing some better outcomes, even just for the health of, like, the imports that we have coming in now, right? So I guess the reason that I bring that up is that a lot of people were outraged. Oh my God, we're super outraged. We're freaking out. We're losing our minds. But as we see out of Poland, you know, here from the AP News, a huge amount of chemical waste dumped into a river, right? Poland's prime minister said Friday that huge amounts of chemical waste were probably dumped intentionally into the Oder River, which I'm saying Oder, but I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, which runs along the border with Germany, causing environmental damage so severe it will take the river years to recover. Tons of dead fish have been seen floating and washed ashore. Prime Minister, I'm going to say his name wrong. I'm going to say their name wrong. Mateusz Morawiecki? I don't know. whose government is under pressure for handling of what appears to be a major environmental catastrophe, vowed that Polish authorities would hold the perpetrators to account. Huge amounts of chemical waste were probably put into the river. Blah, 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 blah. Investigations are underway to determine the cause of the mass fish die-off. Now, reading through this article, you'll eventually come to the realization that, yes, a lot of stuff do get dumped into rivers and start to cause problems. And yeah, that's a bummer. We should definitely stop doing that. But one of the reasons that this is sort of a highlighted story is that the rivers in Europe are all at levels historically have not been seen for like 500 years, right? To the point where what do they call them? Hold on, there's a name for them. Yeah, if you see me cry, hunger stones. That's what they're called. I thought they were called weeping stones, but they're called hunger stones. The drought all throughout Europe, in Czech and German rivers, which strangely enough, we're talking about where the border of Poland and Germany, right? But what's kind of interesting is that this river is at a low that hasn't been seen for like 500 years, basically, right? So the wonder is that, like, is this not only a combined of the drought and the river level being so low, but also a chemical that probably is normally dumped into the river? Obviously, the investigation is ongoing. It's going to take a long time to find out, like, most likely what really happened. But we also have to kind of take into account, we know from owning aquariums that if you put a little bit of waste in your aquarium, right? If you put a little bit of waste in your aquarium and you have very low water volume in your aquarium, the amount of toxic material that would be in your aquarium is going to be much more dangerous in a tiny little fish tank versus a giant fish tank, right? We know that. We're always dealing with that with our aquariums. Nano tanks are super hard to keep because they have a tiny volume of water. There's a little bit of ammonia in there. You get some evaporation. It starts to compound the issue, kills a couple of fish die. They start to add to the ammonia because they're dead, and you got dead fish decaying in there. We all know that from keeping fish tanks, that you lower the amount of water volume that you have. Any addition to that water that could be dangerous for the fish could create a whole entire collapse within that system. And I think, in my mind, a lot of what is being seen in Poland here is probably got to do with a combination of multiple things, right? The water level being historically low and a chemical being added to the water. And I'm wondering if this chemical has normally been dumped, but it's not normally been noticed via a fish dying off, right? And there isn't normally a mass fish die-off when this chemical is dumped into the river, because my guess would be that the water volume is higher up. Now, obviously, it's just a theory. It's just something that has been rolling around in my head for the last couple of days. But the reason I kind of posted today's title is that I'm wondering how much more often this is going to happen more often. We've seen rivers at historically low levels. We see lakes at historically low levels. There's a YouTube channel that is completely blown up, and I forget the name of the channel. Let me see. Let me look this up. Lake Mead is the lake. Lake Mead is at like an all-time low. And Yeah, these guys, Sin City Outdoors. They're like out of Las Vegas, and they keep they lately have just been blowing up because they've been going out to Lake Mead and sort of documenting what's going on out there. The levels, like they're basically going out there like every week by week and realizing that the levels lower and lower and lower and lower every time. Um, like here's a video about like here's this town was under 60 feet of water, and is now a town above water now. Um, so we're seeing things like Lake Mead completely just becoming completely empty, right? And we're gonna end up like dealing with this stuff more and more and more and more. And it makes me wonder of like at what point does it become an issue to be a fish keeper with aquariums full of water while ecosystems are dying, right? Like while gigantic ecosystems are dying outside, right? And that's the big issue that I'm kind of worried about is like, I don't think that the government regulating things, I don't think that changes in prices are really going to do anything. I don't think any of that stuff is realistically, like for instance, if, and I'm not saying this is going to happen or should happen or shouldn't happen or whatever, but let's say all of the aquarium goods went up by 20% or something, right? Like let's say inflation hit the aquarium hobby super hard and all of the prices went up by 25%, let's say. While you might see like a slowing from some corporate analysis of like slowing of purchasing and things like that and stuff, I really don't think that the hobby would go anywhere. I don't think that the hobby would disappear. I don't think it would, it's not at that point. But I really wonder in the areas where the environmental impact is so incredible that outside people see it every day, right? You would go outside, or you get to a point where you're on a water restriction where you're not able to even do water changes and stuff because the drought is so bad, right? Or to the point where your water prices double or water prices triple because you need a desalination plant to make fresh drinking water for you to use, right? That's, I think, really going to be that will be one of the costs that I don't think people are recognizing right now, but I think it's going to be one of those costs that I don't think you're going to be able to look past at some point, right? Because I think right now, how much is water cost per? Oh, what is it? All right, cubic yard in California. So, here we go. Let's just go San Diego. So, yeah, so here we go. So the base fee in San Diego is $27, right? So let's take, is anybody in the chat? Okay, no. Voice channel is open on Discord in case anybody wants to call in and say I'm an idiot or not. Yeah, so we got $27.09 is the base charge, right? Then between 0 and 4, yeah, see, here's where it starts to get crazy. So between 0 and 4, what's the HCF? What do you call it? Used by 100 cubic feet. That's right. Okay. So each 100 cubic feet is 750 gallons, right? So HCF equals like 748 gallons of water, right? So between 0 and 400 cubic feet, you're billed at $5.41. $5.41 per each one, right? But then you go to 5 to 12 a month is, I could probably just copy and paste this, right? I'm all like trying to type it out. Let's check this out. Copy. Control V. Does it make sense? Oh my gosh, I have too many. Oh, too many characters. Okay, here we go. Let me delete some of that because we already have the base fee in there. Okay, so yeah, so if you go 0 to 4, it's $541 per 100 cubic feet. If you use 5 to 12, it's suddenly billed at $6.06 per 100 cubic feet. 13 to 18 is $8.66. Now, if you go over 18, it's billed at $12.18 per 100 cubic feet. So every 750 gallons is $12.20 in San Diego. Now, this is just a very specific example or whatever, but this is kind of a drought area, right? In Southern California, border of Mexico, right? This isn't, I'm not using an area that's like Upper Colorado River, you know. So if we go with these numbers and we go, wait a minute, the drought numbers are going to make these accelerate, right? And say, let's say you're using, so 750 times 18. Let's do that real quick. 750 times 18, right? Equals 13,500. So 13,500 gallons. Let's divide that by, no, we can't divide that. We got to subtract. Okay, let's go back. Let's subtract. Let's say you and another person take a shower, and we just call that 3,000, right? So then now we're down to 10,000. Let's say that you do dishes and you do laundry, and we take 3,000 out for kind of average that out. So you've got 750 or 7,500 gallons left per month before you start to get to those cap numbers. But let's say you have some extra kids, you're watering some yard stuff, you're doing a bunch of fish tank stuff, and suddenly, let's say that $12, instead of it being $12, now it's $22 or something like that. And you start to encounter these reoccurring costs, right? The reoccurring costs are really what's going to cripple the average. The average fish keeper is realistically going to run into reoccurring costs like that I think will probably crush the aquarium hobby for the average person, especially if you live somewhere where you have to start to manage the amount of water that you're taking. Because as you can see, like the increased cost as the more and more water that you use every period, that's really where you're going to go, wait a minute, I'm not going to stop taking a shower. I'm not going to stop washing my dishes. I'm not going to stop flushing the toilet, right? But what I could stop doing is I could stop doing so many water changes, or maybe water in my yard, or, you know, like you're really going to start making those cuts off the top end, the luxury end. You're not going to make the cuts off the bottom end, the important stuff that you're doing. And so that's where I really start to go like, we're going to run into an issue where fish keepers are starting to incur a monthly cost that is reoccurring and growing and growing and growing. I think that's really where people are going to start to cut back. Now, gasoline is a perfect example. Gasoline got more and more and more expensive, and people just bear down and were dealing with the price, right? People didn't stop using gas. It took them months and months and months for them to slow down using gas. But guess what? It happened. It did happen. People have started using less gas. And I think what ended up happening was people didn't cut back on work and stuff like that. People are still commuting to work. They're still driving to get groceries. They're still driving to do their regular stuff. But I think what ended up happening is people started cutting back on their vacations, I think is really what occurred from all of the stuff that I read. From all the stuff that I read, it looks like people were cutting out luxury, right? People were cutting out doing vacations and luxurious items and stuff like that. And I think that realistically, that's where the fish keeping hobby like lands for most people. I think the fish keeping hobby lands for most people as realistically a luxury that they could cut back on. And I do think that as the weather continues to get crazier and crazier, that these droughts continue to get worse and worse and worse. I'm not sure what the resolution is going to be. Obviously, they're trying to manage. What is it? What lake feeds into Lake Mead? I forget what it is. It's just because I'm having a brain fart. Here we go. I mean, obviously the Colorado River is what does that, but Lake Mead feeds into. Well, where's the whole? We'll get the diagram here. Do. Oh man, launch ramp conditions are not good. Lake Mead seasonal trail closures. Source of the water. Where does it come from? Can you just show me the tributaries? Like, I just want to see so that I could remember. Because there's Boulder Basin, goes that way. The Colorado River continues down that way. This goes over into Las Vegas. Lake Mead outlet. Oh, my God. Y'all got to be tripping. What is going on over there? Hey, what are you doing?
Biddy's scared of Vanessa.
Oh, Vanessa, the robot vacuum. Guys, we have one of those robot vacuums. Here's what's funny story about that. So Vicky bought the robot vacuum for her mother, who has health issues and stuff, and her mom hates it. She hated it and was like, I don't want this anymore. And gave it back to Vicky. Was like, no. So now we have one. We didn't buy one. We bought one for Vicky's mom, and then we ended up getting it. Is chat broken today? I don't know. I feel like chat's broken today. I don't know. I think chat's broken today. People are not chatting. I don't know why. Anyhow. So I guess I'm just going to look it up because nobody wants to chat. So we'll just listen to me sit here. Lake Mead is fed by the Colorado River and 3 smaller tributaries, Virgin, Muddy Rivers, Las Vegas Wash. Yeah. Northern end of the Great Basin, nearly 60 miles upstream of Hoover Dam. Oh, I probably should have just looked this article up before, but I didn't think I was going to have a total brain fart in remembering like which lakes feed into which. Because it's like on the tip of my brain, and I don't know why. I don't know why, but that's where we're at today. Just show me the freaking map. It's not Lake Havasu. Lake Mead was established as the Boulder Dam. Right. So there's Boulder Dam, Hoover Dam, right? Lake Mojave. Okay. Do they just have like a basic diagram that we could look at? Look how, oh my God, look how dry it is upstream. Oh, here's the diagram. It has nothing on it. Has no It's just here's the picture. Okay. Well, that's cool. Anyhow. Well, it makes it an issue when you're like trying to remember something during a live stream and you can't remember. But regardless, let's just say this dam feeds into that dam and the river be fed, right? But I think one of the big issues is that we have a complex water system of like trying to hold water in into these man-made lake that goes into man-made lake that goes into a dam that creates hydroelectric, that we need hydroelectric to keep our lights on, right? We need our electricity, and we also need our water in order to drink and not die, as was illustrated many times. You can survive like 30 days without food. I don't recommend it, but you can, because you've seen that Survivor show. They put these idiots out on an island, and eventually they find some water. If they don't find water within a week, they ain't going to make it. They ain't going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're going to die. You need water. Food, you could wait a little bit on food, but you need water. So to go back to what I was talking about before, the incurring cost that people are going to start to navigate as the average person who just gets their water from the tap that's coming from a managed source, that's a public water supply. I think what's going to end up happening is people are going to absorb the cost. They're going to continue to absorb the cost. They're going to continue to absorb the cost until it gets to a point where we got to figure out how to cut back on how much money we're spending month to month to month. The same way that people did with their gasoline consumption and fuel consumption, diesel, whatever. Petrol, if you're European or whatever, is that people are going to absorb the cost just the same way that the people did with the gasoline and diesel costs and things like that going way up. People just absorbed it for a certain amount of time until they got to a point where they said, you know what, we're going to have to skip a vacation. We're going to have to skip this extra little trip. We're going to have to skip this camping thing. We're going to have to skip this little road trip down to the shore or down to the beach or any of that kind of stuff. People started cutting back on that crap. And once you see that happening, you actually start to see what the actual effects of people losing or the raising in prices. That's really when you start to see it. When you really start to see like it's really affecting people when their consumption goes down, because that's the real metric, right? The real metric of did people actually change their behavior is if their consumption went down, right? Because people could say, oh, my bills are so bad. Oh, I'm freaking out. Oh, I'm doing this, da, da, da. But then you go and look at the consumption rates and you realize, like, everybody's still buying the same amount of stuff. If you don't see a change in that number, it could just be people with a lot of hullabaloo, right? They're just sort of hot air, right? But once you see that actual consumption rate start to drop, that's when you start to see like the actual effect of that real raised cost month by month by month, which I think is what we'll end up seeing with the fish keeping hobby, if things continue to go this way. Because in Belgium, 264 gallons of water costs $6.50. So that's actually considerably more expensive than even San Diego. In like drought-stricken Southern California, right? And maybe that has something to do with why people in Europe only have 1 or 2 aquariums. Maybe it has something to do with that. Rebecca Lowry, ouch, you started early. Hey, I posted up. So that you guys will all know what is going on, right? I posted up on the Discord. You got to have your notifications turned on YouTube, you know, you got all notifications. You got to have your notifications turned on. If I post something, you better get notified, right? So, yeah, I'm just kidding. The schedule here is pretty flexible as far as the live stream goes. It's just going to be on Monday during the day. If you're in Europe, it's going to be the evening, late time. And if you're in Australia or New Zealand, I think it's morning time Wednesday or Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Joel G says my water rates have gone up like 15% this month. Yeah. So, you know, one of the big reasons that we well, I don't know if that's the right way to put it. So I enjoy exploring like economic things, right? Like economics is kind of interesting to me, but it's also, it's not like a deep passion or anything like that. I think it's interesting, and I have a tendency to look into it from time to time. But to explain to somebody who's like never even read an econ book, right? The simple way to explain it is markets that have elasticity, right? Markets that have elasticity are like non-essential items, right? Televisions are non-essential items. Aquariums are non-essential items. A couple examples of essential items would be healthcare, food, water, right? Like, you could go your whole entire life without ever owning or even seeing an aquarium. It's not even any kind of remote requirement for you to have been alive is to have experienced an aquarium. You wouldn't have needed to do that. But in modern times, for you to be born and exist, you are going to have to experience food, water, and likely forms of healthcare. Even if it's minimal forms of healthcare, like vaccinations and Tylenol and stuff like that, you're not going to exist in this world without some kind of healthcare, and especially end-of-life care is going to come at some point in time. If you're at all interested in surviving a whole lifetime, right? Elastic markets that have a lot of wiggle, a lot of give are things that are just like non-essentials. And elastic markets have to be competitive and reduce pricing in order to entice customers to purchase said item, right? And that's why I would bring up TVs, because oftentimes you would hear people go like, yeah, you got a big screen TV in your house, and so obviously you're doing so much better than somebody that was in the 1990s, right? And you go, okay, but if you actually look at the pricing of TVs have maintained about the same price, but you get more per dollar, essentially, as the average consumer. If you're talking about a 25-inch CRT versus a 25-inch flat screen wall mountable LED OLED or whatever, you're probably going to see a fairly similar price. But you're definitely getting a lot more from the LED TV than you would for the CRT. And the reason for that is open competition in a thing that people don't have to own. You don't have to own a TV in order to survive in the world, right? So if you think, wow, I really want a TV, you go shop around, you find a price, you find a model that you're probably going to get the best, you're going to get all the best stuff for a better price, and then you kind of think about it, and then you're like, well, maybe I'm going to buy that TV next month because, shoot, dog, maybe I'll just wait till next month. I don't have enough money saved up, or maybe I don't have enough, credit to like put it on a card and pay it off over the next couple months, or whatever it is. Whatever your decision is, it's not essential for your life, right? If you got stabbed in the neck and you are bleeding out, there's zero elasticity to your need for a healthcare person to put stitches in your neck to stop you from bleeding to death, right? There's no time. You have to have it or you're going to die. So zero elasticity to that market. Somebody could just name their own price. If you're bleeding wildly out of your neck and somebody walked up and said, it's $100 million for me to sew your neck closed, you would just agree. You would be like, okay, I agree to your weird whatever price you made, right? So when we talk about water, water can be both. That you could be utilizing your water for the non-elastic, the part of the market that has zero elasticity, and that means your life. You need this water, and the rest of this water might be all luxury water, right? Elastic water. You might not want to spend maximum dollars on your hobby water because you don't need it to survive, right? And I think that's really where my concern runs in, is that if we keep seeing these crazy droughts over and over and over and over and over, year after year after year after year after year, and eventually people are going to have to start making an active decision about whether or not you want to keep your hobby in the if you want to keep your hobby and be spending top dollar on your water and stuff like that. I think that's what's really going to crush a lot of people out of the hobby, right? Because people will eventually catch on to what it is that they're spending. It'll take them some time to figure it out, but they may have to go, well, maybe I got to stop keeping all these aquariums. I'm wasting too much money on all this water because I'm wasting money on the top end of my usage, right? So you stop watering your lawn. So you stop taking care of so many aquariums. You stop taking a bath. You start, you know what I mean? Instead of taking a bath, you take a quick shower. You know, and you start to cut back, and you have to cut back, and you have to cut back until you get within your non-elastic part, right? That part that's just not going, or that part that's just going to have to maintain an affordability for you to survive, right? And then you can go, well, all right. Which was ultimately my point a few months ago when we were talking about gas prices, is like, how much would they have to charge for you to absolutely just turn around from the gas station and drive away, right? Like if you went to the gas station to get gas because you needed gas, you were going to go to, let's say you're going to work. We all go to work at some point in time in our lives, so I think we can all relate to that. But let's say you drove your vehicle to the gas station, you needed to get gas because you were going to drive to work, and you drove up and you looked at the sign and it said whatever number that exists in your head that you would just say nope and turn around and drive home instead of filling up your gas tank and just being like, it's just literally so expensive I can't even buy 1 gallon. I can't even like put some of it in my vehicle, right? And I thought about it for quite a while because I was like, I think realistically they could have been charging $100 a gallon, right? And I literally would have probably been like, I guess I'm getting 2 gallons. I guess I'm getting 2 gallons, and then you go like, well, they're charging $200 a gallon, right? And I think that that's where the number starts to get like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But if it came down to like dying or not, they could charge any money, right? They could charge any money. They could charge any price if it's between living and dying, right? And so that's like the simple breakdown for like an elastic market versus an inelastic market. And I think the concern that I have is that the aquarium hobby, if we continue down this path, the aquarium hobby will end up being a victim of that elastic part of that calculation, right? Because as far as my gasoline or my fuel usage goes, I could be like, well, I'm not going over here. Oh, I'm not going to go on a hike this week because I don't want to drive 50 miles, and I don't need to do that, and oh, maybe I don't need to do this thing, or oh, if I'm going to drive somewhere, I'll try to do everything all at the same time. Make sure I make as few trips as possible. But here's the thing, like, I'm going to have to drive to work, so there is a part of my fuel consumption that has zero elasticity to it. Like, I have to load up all my tools in my truck, not all of them, but a ton of tools, hundreds of pounds of tools, load them in my truck, drive to go work somewhere, regardless of where I work. That's my job. So there's a part of my fuel consumption that has zero ability to not buy gas, right? Like, I have to buy gas in order for me to go to work. Obviously, I have a YouTube channel I try to work at, and I could do some of that work from here, but it doesn't pay all my bills. So I'm not just work from home, like some people, Even Vicky doesn't have a zero, number for fuel consumption, right? Because she has to take Olivia to daycare, even though she works from home. She takes Olivia to daycare, picks her up, brings her back home, like all that kind of stuff. So there's a reality that I have a concern that the aquarium hobby will fall victim to that inelastic part of people's expenditure, right? And people will just go like, you know what? I got to tighten the belt. I got to get rid of this thing that I'm spending too much money on. And I really wonder what that number is going to look like as time goes on. Because, like, I was trying to find a table. That would show us the price escalation and how things have been changing. And the weird thing is that all of these tables come from like all sorts of weird places. I've been trying to figure out like what it is, but the one that I found was on circleofblue.org, which seems to be a sort of non-profit, maybe-ish type situation thing, and it seems to be a pretty good resource as far as the water pricing goes. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into it further because, and here's the link to it. You guys can go look at it yourselves. But one of the issues with this kind of stuff is it's like super difficult to, like, as an average person, gather some information on this, but this looks to be pretty close, right? Now, the numbers that are here, right, indicate that prices have been going up, but they've been going up more for people that use more water, right? So yeah. So a family of 4 using 50 gallons per day only saw an increase from 2010 to 2018, an increase from $22.64 to $35.49, right? A family of 4 using 150 gallons per person or per day, right? Yeah. Went from $71 all the way up to $112, right? And those are the numbers where you really start to go like, that's where the increase seems to be in the people that are using high volume of water, because the increase is off of the top of their usage, not off of the bottom of their usage. Well, in the United States, this may be completely different if you're in Europe or South America or India, might be different wherever you're at. So I'm just saying that, like, a lot of my time is spent, like, figuring out North American stuff because this is where I live. And it would be very weird for me to figure out stuff that's going on in parts of Africa and then not know what's going on in my own vicinity where I'm walking around trying to avoid bumping into walls. You know what I mean? So that's the big thing that I've seemingly come to the conclusion of, like, really worried about a hobby that the top end is what we're doing. What we're doing is existing on that top end of the usage, and that's where people are going to be seeing a lot of money flying out the door and probably start to make changes over a long period of time. It won't be super dramatic, but you'll start to see it month after month after month, and that's really kind of where I start to worry. Rebecca Lowry says, take this $700 EpiPen that costs $50 to produce. Yeah, that's a good point. If you're going to die from a bee sting, you're going to use the EpiPen. Even if the EpiPen was $1 billion, right? If the EpiPen was $1 billion and you got stung by a bee and you were allergic to that, you would use the EpiPen. It wouldn't matter. You'd just be like, I guess I owe somebody $1 billion now. Which if you made $1 towards that, every second of the day, it would take you 33 years to pay that back, right? Let's see. Let's jump back into the chat while I... Wrong. It's Friday night in New Zealand. Gosh, you know what? It's hard to keep track of what's going on in New Zealand, G. Joel G, right? Oh, no, the V word? What was the V word? Vagina or Victoria? I don't know. Rebecca, we need some clarity on the V word. What's the V word? Moist? In Belgium, it's 2,300 hours and 11 minutes, which it's 23:26 now. Oh, just going on midnight. Medium noche. It's 2:26 where I live. You guys are 9 hours ahead. Let's see. I'm quoting from who knows from how long ago. Oh. Maybe fish are as addictive as cigarettes and alcohol, both of which I would drop first if I used either in the first place. Yeah, see, that's the issue. You know, most people would say that they would, like, quit smoking or whatever if the price went up. But I think cigarettes now, what's the average price of cigarettes? Price in Washington. Yeah, the average price, this is the average price for cigarettes in Washington State, is $10.14 now. And last time I checked, there's smoke shops all over the place. I see them everywhere. In Missouri's the cheapest place to get them at $5.25 for a pack. You know what? And people would always say, like, yeah, if it gets too expensive, I'm going to quit. And people they keep raising the price to get people to quit. And yet, still lots of Smoky McSmokertons wandering around. Even though you can't smoke inside anymore either. I don't know where you can smoke inside still. Every once in a while, I'll land somewhere in a state somewhere where people can still smoke inside, and you're like, what are these cavemen doing? Why are you smoking in here? Vaccination. Oh, you should get vaccinated. Yes, 100%. Get vaccinated. Unless you have like 6 doctorates, then get vaccinated. Because you probably don't know what you're talking about. Catherine Thomas, research your weeds. Some are great, but there's a beautiful purple flower weed in our yard that is dangerously invasive. You always got to research. Okay, if you're interested in planting your yard to have natives and things in it, which I think there's a balance between the two. I think you should have a little bit of lawn, preferably find a grass that is local to grow. You should have a little bit of lawn. You should have a little bit of garden, or actually a big part of garden that you can eat, and then the rest should be like natives and stuff like that. I think there's a balance. I think there's definitely a balance there. Because recently I was dealing with some hippies. I'm trying to make a video on what's the name for it? You're basically planting your yard to emulate God, what's the name for it? Oh my God, I'm like a brain dead idiot today. But I'm trying to work on a video of planting your yard. Oh my God, hold on. Your yard naturally. There's a name for it, and I can't even remember what it's called. Oh my God. There is a name for it. It's just natural landscaping, native gardening. God, there we go. Oh gosh, I'm dumb sometimes. You got to remember, guys. I'm a moron a lot of the time. A lot of the time, I'm an idiot. Okay, native gardening, right? Okay, so I was dealing with some hippies that were like, "There's no place for anything other than the natives." Okay, the native plants, right? And you're like, dude, like we can't just live off honeysuckles and stuff. I'm going to have to grow some plants from around the world, right? We have to. Catherine Thomas says edible landscaping. That's not what it's called. Well, that's not what it's called, but edible landscaping is important too. Like a perfect example would be foxglove. You cannot have foxglove in your yard. Foxglove is so pretty. The flower is so pretty. It's so pretty. It's so cool looking. I love how foxglove looks. It's just it's a crazy teardrop, and it's got this all little purple, little bell-shaped flower. I love it. It's super toxic. It's insanely poisonous. So you could accidentally have foxglove growing in your greens, right? This actually happened. Some lady had foxglove in her greens, and she was cutting greens for salad for herself. Somehow a little bit of foxglove got in there, and she ate it and ended up dying. Ugh, which is crazy, because foxglove is one of those plants where they're like, you've eaten foxglove. Here's morphine. Just prepare for the end, right? So, but anyhow, I was arguing with these sort of hippies that I'm trying to work on this video for the landscaping that we're trying to do here. And, it was kind of the beginning interview of like, how to do the planning and that kind of stuff. And, but they were like, look, there's no place for a lawn. There's no place for a lawn. Blah, 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 right? And I was like, look, if you want to play soccer, what are you going to play soccer on? Okay, you could play on fancy AstroTurf, right? The field turf stuff, which would cost an amazing amount of money to install into your yard. And by the way, nothing is growing there, right? Nothing is growing where the field turf is. It's an artificial product which covers the ground, right? That's not good. So what's the other option? You got to have some kind of grass, right? So obviously, there are natives that you can pick through in your area, and you can grow some grass. I don't think it's out of the realm to go, you should be able to have some lawn. But having 4 acres of grass that you mow is a little, you're a little, that's a little monoculture that you're doing that's not a great idea, right? As Catherine Thomas says, or if you have kids or dogs, you want some lawn. Yes, exactly. I have a dog and a kid. Hey, Biddy, where are you? You guys, Biddy Brown? Biddy Brown dog has, she succumbed to the power of flopping down on the ground and is just full leg out, just asleep, right? Just the legs sticking straight out like this, right? And I have a daughter, and we like to be able to have a little bit of grass to go around on. So I feel like there's a happy medium between all of that, but also at the same time, you got to get kind of motivated and do a little bit of research and kind of figure out exactly what's going on. Some of the stuff I was definitely surprised on. I was just like, that's native, right? Nope. Like, oh crap, I've seen that everywhere. How is that not native? And it's like, it's not. And you're like, okay, well, maybe we move that to the specific beds. I don't know. We've had to make a couple of decisions on a few things. I've had to make a few decisions on a couple of things that I was like, yeah, I don't know. But one of the things that I have been trying to do for a while is trying to figure out how to do an actual clover lawn up here, because I did find some of the clovers that my grandpa grew in his house in California, and I tried to grow some of that last year and the year before, and it unfortunately, like, it did okay, but it took like a really excess of watering, in my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but it seemed to me like I was having to water a lot more, and it did not survive the wintertime. So, like, I feel like replanting every year is just like a chaotic waste of resource. You know what I mean? That's a lot of energy, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of resources into putting a thing back, right? That was there the year before. It's all natural, Rebecca. Clean living. We didn't even have any new members or super chats today. Okay, do me a favor. Hit the like button. That's free, okay? You don't have to do anything weird. You just pick up your phone, open up the stream, click the like button, then hit the arrow button, share, and send it to your grandma. Your grandma's been sitting around all day today, and she might as well be listening to the live stream, right? Oh, what do we got here? My selected charity received a $66,000 donation. Oh, that's right. Hey, but Amazon affiliate. I'm supposed to Amazon affiliatize you guys, right? Where's my storefront? My page. Oh, look how slow it's loading. Loading. What? Where's the link? Oh my god. Oh my god. You know, this thing could be oh my gosh. They have changed the buttons. All the buttons are different on the Amazon thing. Oh my god. I'm supposed to be an influencer. Oh my god, you guys have gift memberships? Is it live now? Do we have that? Can we gift memberships? Oh my god, we can gift memberships. Gifting memberships is live. I didn't think it was live. Oh no, gifting memberships is active. Okay, everybody is supposed to gift memberships. I'll have to update the community post so you can get on the Discord. New Local Austin can get on the Discord and yell at me next week now and be like, oh my god, what are you doing? And I'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Also, clover isn't technically native. It's European, but like the honeybee, it's become a part of our ecosystem. Yeah, so the weird thing with the honeybee is that it is imported. And, oh my god. Aubrey has gifted 10 memberships, and I wonder if there's even 10 people to receive them. It definitely exposes some of the people that were hiding in the chat. The people that haven't chatted. But everyone else was a member. Holy crap. Well, thanks, Aubrey, and thank you. Did Alana Suki get one? Oh, I think Alana will get one. I think what is it? You have to. I think you have to make yourself eligible to receive a membership. I think there's a way that I think there's a thing you have to click. Oh, Aubrey. Oh, that moist tattoo. Oh my God. Yeah, if we hit the goal for the moist tattoo, we will. We'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to do that. So if anybody in the chat has not enabled receiving a membership, there's still a couple of them hanging out there because I know how to count. I know how to count, ish, sometimes. Yeah, Linda Worth says you have to allow gifts, which Linda could become a member again if you allow gifts. Yeah, there you go. Anyhow, moving. Well, Aubrey, thank you again. And Rebecca, thank you for gifting memberships. I appreciate it, dude. It's been forever. Yeah, you have to click on the dollar button and allow gifts. Yeah, I think that's what it does. Yeah. I hear said that subscribers don't have to be in the chat to receive. Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's the thing. Maybe they got pushed onto somebody else. But it still only says 8 new members, so I don't know. But I guess we'll find out. We aren't allowed to lurk from Jeremy. Here's the thing. Everyone's allowed to lurk. Everyone's allowed to do whatever. But if people gift memberships, you will become exposed. You will become exposed in the chat if you receive a membership. Like, I didn't even know Preston was here. Preston was here creeping. He was sneaking around. He was creeping in the background. So if you became a new member today, let me update this thing. I'll update it while we're live so that people can find it. Oh, here it is. I have to do this. And then I copy that. Then I have to go over here. Then I got to scroll down. Is it over here? Right here? Down to the community tab. There we go. I found it. Oh my gosh, I found the community tab. Then I got to scroll down, and I got to find the members only one, and then we can edit this. There we go. Edit. And then we go like this. Control, paste, the new updated Discord thing. So if you go to the community tab on my YouTube page and you have become a member, you can go there, right? You can click on the Discord and then go through, make an account, all that kind of stuff. And join up into the Discord, and then you'll be able to call in case you need to call in today real bad. I tried to open the new member thing, and it malfunctioned. How funny is that? Okay. We'll just reload it. Okay, who's a new member today? Let's see. Paulette was the last one to rejoin. So Kiwi Mamo, Nozer, Night Owl, Arium, Preston John, Lexi, Carmos Creations, New Local Austin, Catherine Thomas, Kevin Van Weezemel, and US Scaper. Okay. So if you guys end up going over to the Discord, that is our community. Read the whatchamacallits. The rules, which the rules are pretty basic. They're just like, be respectful, don't attack people, and keep it relatively safe for work, right? And we'll all be fine, and we'll get along just fine. Yeah, see, Night Owl Arium just came in, just joined in, and got a and got a membership from Aubrey. Oh, Linda says, yeah, I'm a patron. Oh, yeah, Patreon is very important. Everyone should join up on Patreon. You can do it for like $1 a month, and then I think you get a 10% discount, so it's like 90 cents a month, or if 10% off of $1 is 90 cents, I think that's what it is. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. Oh my god. 90 cents? I think it's 90 cents. Alyssa says, this is fun. This is fun. It's always fun to I'm surprised that the gifted subs thing was turned on. I didn't even notify me that it was turned on. And I was waiting for it to be turned on, but there we go. The gifted subs is turned on now. So people can do that if they want to do that, as illustrated powerfully by Aubrey today. And he's got the Mr. Chips icon, and Aubrey's been around quite a while, but he's got the Mr. Chips icon. And the other day, recently with Olivia, she's trying to understand the concept of death, which is, here's the thing. I didn't think that, here's the thing. Like, I didn't think that the death conversation was, going to be this soon. Like, she's 3.5. Well, I mean, she's going to be 4 in a couple months, but she's almost 4. Verging. She's verging on 4. She's farting in forts. And if you're on the Discord, you'll know what I'm talking about. But she's verging on 4 years old, and she's trying to understand the concept of death, and I do realize that, like, occasionally some of the movies that she watches, like somebody dies, like not graphically, but like you defeat the bad guy at the end of the movie, and they'll show them like dying or whatever, but they're sort of just gone, kind of vibe, and she's definitely picked up on it, because we've had a couple friends die over the last year, and then on top of it, Mr. Chips passed away last year, and we hit the anniversary the other day. Or no, we haven't hit the anniversary yet. No, almost. I think it's about a week away or something like that. And regardless, we're coming up on the anniversary. I was really been thinking about the little dog, and and I was talking with Olivia the other day, and then she realized that Mr. Chips passed away, and a relatable thing is like, have you seen Mr. Chips? And he's like, and she is like, no. And it's like, Mr. Chips hasn't come back because Mr. Chips died, and and he's just been gone forever, and he's not gonna come back. And I mean, it's hard enough for adults to be it's hard enough for adults to confront like death, but man, it's wild to see somebody who's that young to be like kind of grappling with whatever that is, and so that's been the big kid issue of late, you know what I mean? Crazy Aquarium guy says, hey man, I really want to stay longer, but long story short, I got a bill of about $13,700. Government wants it in 3 months, and I currently have $800. I will come back. Oh man, that is, whew. That's a lot. That's a lot of money to get together. I don't know how you're gonna do that. That's oh, Swedish kroner. Is it that much Swedish kroner? What's the, so 13,700 SEK to US dollars. It's still like about $1,400 US, so that's strong. That's a strong bill. That's a strong bill to have received. If it's 13,700 US dollars, I would just call them and be like, yeah, I don't know what's going on over there with your maths, but we gotta figure something out. Oh, so it is not Swedish kroner. No, he said it's USD. Oh, it's US. Okay, that's wild. Rebecca Lowry says you are who they're hiring the agents for. No, actually, I guess to bring that up, a lot of my conservative friends have been losing their minds about the IRS getting some money to hire new agents. I would implore with anybody who is worried about the IRS getting some more funding. It is not to come after the small guy. It is to replace the people who are retiring and aging out and quitting working at the IRS. We need to hire new people to replace the people that are going away. And if you go look at the amount of agents that they have, the amount that have retired, and the amount that they're supposed to have, strangely enough, it all coincides with what they have expanded the budget. I don't have the exact numbers with me right now. I would love to have an in-depth conversation with somebody if they really want to. But please, dear God, post some of the links of what your research is and whatnot if you're going to be doing that. But that's the reality of what the IRS funding is basically around replacing the workers who are going in and out, right? Crazy Aquarium guy says no, it's U.S. So it's U.S. Oh my God! So you need 14 grand U.S. dollars. I do not know how to wrap my mind around that number. That's a terrifying number. But Aubrey gifted a bunch of subs, so we got to update this number. First off, we got a gifted sub from Rebecca that put us up to 69. Nice. But Aubrey gifted 10 after that, so we got to go to 70, right? Then we go to 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79. Wow, that's getting us closer to the moist tattoo at a rapid rate. That's the thing. Like if you guys are gonna motivate me to end up getting a moist tattoo, that's probably how you're gonna have to accomplish it. Because I don't think the individual one person gifting subs is going to, or the individual one person signing up. I don't think we're ever gonna hit that number. So yeah. But that's the crazy thing, because somebody could come in and gift like 500 subs, and as Nozer138 says, I just got an email saying I was gifted a month's subscription. I would like to thank Corvus and whoever gifted it. Hey, man, you're welcome, and hopefully you have fun, at least for the next month, hanging out in our community. Yeah. Oh, Rebecca. Okay, she says, I know Corvus is a great premise. Now, if we would just dump that into the United States Postal Service system, I'd love to see it. I would highly encourage you to look up the expanded the United States Postal Service bills that have already passed. USPS bills increase 2022. So there was 2 that passed. One was to get rid of the overage that they had to fund people's retirements. They have restricted that, and there was a big bill that was passed earlier this year. The Postal Service Reform Act became law. The legislation's main aim was to help the agency stabilize its finances, which had been weighed down by mandatory benefit payments. So the benefit payments were like super crazy. They were having to like fund people's retirements like up to 75 years or something bonkers like that. And so they were running into this crazy deficit because they're having to fund people's retirements that they're not even retired. And they've had to raise their prices a little bit. Priority mail would increase anywhere from 25 cents. So there's definitely some good stuff happening with the post office. I know that it's a priority of the Biden administration to try and get more stuff passed, but multiple things have passed. Temporary rates have gone up, and there's a few things that they're doing to offset things, and we'll see. At least there's hope on the horizon for the Postal Service. One of the big reasons that I want the IRS to have increased funding is not because of the little guys. It's not us. Like, auditing us, regular people, is super easy for the IRS. It's super difficult to go after the big fish. Those are the people who have benefited from the IRS being underfunded, right? The IRS being underfunded has allowed the big fish, people with $100 million, $200 million, $500 million, because it takes all these lawyers. You have to go to court. You have to deal with all these appeals. There's all this crazy process you have to go through to do, and just the investigation into those taxes takes a ton of people to research, and they can't really go after those people who are doing all sorts of tax fraud and tax evasion and all that kind of crazy stuff. That's been an ongoing problem in the U.S. for a long time now. They can't go after the big fish. You can't go after them because you don't have the money and resources to go after those people. And that ultimately is why I would say, hey, we need to fund the IRS to make sure that everybody's on the level, you know. Oh yeah, I think the moist tattoo was if we hit 500 members, I'll get a moist tattoo. I'll get a moist tattoo on me, which it seems like gifting subs is probably how I'll be forced into having to get that tattoo. I think that's the way that'll probably end up happening, is if people start gifting subs, then I'll be forced into getting a moist tattoo. Hey, Zip Gun's here. What's up, Zip? How you feeling? What's going on? I figured Zip Gun would have been here earlier, but he's probably been out and about, exercising, feeling better. Hopefully he's feeling good. If you guys don't know, Zip Gun got a hernia surgery. He's in recovery. He's steadily improving. Oh, my God. Steady improvement is good. I like that. Alyssa says that would be a tattoo that says moist. That's right. And we could run a poll when it comes time for the so we'd go... So we could go like this. We could run a poll. We could run a poll like that. That would be the moist tattoo would be cursive lettering or block lettering. And so we could see what you guys come up with on the poll. Oh, my God. People are voting for block lettering. People are voting for block lettering? Oh, my God. You guys are wild. Cursive, so it's all fancy? Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, needless to say, I have both of those fonts tattooed on me already, so I'm not really opposed to either one. You guys don't know. You just don't know. Block circus letters, red, blue, and black. That might be a bit much. Nice, delicate, girly font. All right. I can dig it. Fancy block lettering. Oh, I don't know. I mean, people might be able to send in their favorite font, I think, in the community. I could probably do a better poll. Or at least I could do a poll on the Discord. We could do like 5, or we could do like 4 different fonts I got people send in their favorite fonts, and then we could choose between the 4. How about that? That's probably like the best way that we could do it. Oh God, her handwriting is abysmal. She's doing better. Yesterday we did. What did we do yesterday? We did the number 6 and the letter lowercase d's is what we were doing yesterday. Oh, Comic Sans will not be one of the options. That's not. No. No. We can't have that. Comic Sans is out. Comic Sans is not one of the options, and I would veto that. I would veto that forever. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta look up this thing. Fringe benefits. I gotta look this up. Go back. I gotta go here. And then I gotta go to the login, and I gotta prepare myself to check the Fringe benefits. All right. Did we talk about everything that I wanted to talk about today? Aubrey gifted a bunch of subs. Is there anything that Aubrey wants to talk about? Because we could do that. We could switch over to whatever Aubrey wants to talk about. Because I think I hit on all the points today. Because as I mentioned ad nauseum, I think that climate change is probably the biggest threat to everything that we have ongoing. I think that's the real threat. I think it is. I think it honestly is at this point. I mean, we've had the heat domes. We got average high temperatures. We got droughts. We got hurricanes blowing all crazy. I mean, it's a lot of the crazy stuff that we've seen ongoing, What's a good way to grow moss fast? Submerged or immersed? I mean, like the easiest way to grow moss fast is emergent. Like you basically want to do tissue culture moss is essentially like the fastest way that you want to do it. Is that you want to do that gel and put a lot of moss in it and grow it emergent like that. And Java moss included in that. That's probably the best way to go about it. Then you can do submerged, and then you have to do like if you want a ton of Java moss, you're essentially gonna have to do passive like pond growing of it if you really want a lot. There was a point in time where Corey and I were gonna rent. We were considering renting a pond that was probably like 500,000 gallon pond, just like a 500,000 pond, and we were gonna grow Java moss in it. That was one of the projects that we were going to do. We decided not to because just the cost versus work was going to be our big problem. Our big problem was going to be the filling the work hours was going to be the big issue. Filling those work hours and making sure that bodies were there to sort of maintain and do the work on the pond was going to be the big problem. But that's really the best way to do it passively. You need a big body of water, and you'll grow a lot of it. Because you can fertilize a big body of water pretty simply with sort of bulk fertilizing and stuff like that, and you don't even really need to be all that accurate. But one of the big issues is you need to be able to maintain a proper temperature. That's going to be your big deal with growing a lot of Java moss. If you want to just grow moss fast, most LED lighting, or if you want to grow moss fast in your aquarium, get your nitrate levels up to about 50 parts per million. You want your CO2 to be at like 40 parts per million. You want it really high, and you also definitely want to make sure that you don't have an excess of light dumping in. So most LED lights at about like 55, 60% is probably going to be more than enough light. And you might have to go even lower than that. But if you have some decent fertilization with enough nitrates and a lot of CO2 and, chill out your lighting, don't outcompete the moss. But be sure that to maintain your fertilization, your moss will grow like crazy. There's really no end. There's really no end game for moss. Like moss, especially Java moss, it will just continue threading along. Because as it propagates in its little thread form, it will just continue to branch and go. So, I mean, that's my base advice, and oftentimes people would be like, it's far too basic, like your advice. Well, I mean, if you want to get super in depth into like setting it up and stuff like that, become a sponsor of the channel today so I can afford to make those videos is the easy way to explain it. Currently, right now, I have to build a new workshop space in my garage, and I am talking to you guys. Although I do need to go talk to my lumber guy for not only work, but hopefully adding on my own order of lumber also. So I have to do those at the same time. So I'm going to go talk to the guy in person because on the phone, it doesn't work all that well. Let's see. We never copy. Our guys are all designers, graduated with tattoo skills as well. Wait a minute. Is Crazy Aquarium guy a tattooer? Is Crazy Aquarium guy a tattoodler? We have to find out. Let's see. I've seen 2,000 letter tattoos. If you tattoo, email me the details. Okay. We should get a couple of people submitting for who's gonna do the tattoo. I could go. I can always go to some of my tattoo buddies, but I don't know if I'm gonna make a video about it. Maybe I would, because it's for the channel, right? If that happens. But we got to get to. We got to hit that member goal. Oh, okay. So Crazy Aquarium guy runs the place. All right. I bet that's why you got a tax bill. Most of the tattoo guys I know neglect to pay their taxes because they're 1099 dudes and stuff. And I know they actually get audited by the IRS. I've seen that happen before. Maybe this will brighten your day. My a tattooing buddy of mine got a what was it? A $38,000 derelict tax bill. Rebecca has a good point. Members only video. Good point. Yeah. What time is it? 3:07? Okay, we're almost to the end of the show. We got to unless somebody gifts a whole bunch more subs and then I'll stay, I guess. Cuz Aubrey gifted 10 subs, man, and that means we're going to stay live here for a little while. And only hire international high-level artists. No apprentice in our studio. Oh, okay. Had to sell my apartment. Wow. Okay, I got to put you guys on hold for a minute because I got to go. Okay. Sorry about that. We had an intermission. Spell. Wrongly. There we go. Yeah. So, sorry about that. I was about to pee my pants. So, to be honest with you, I was about to pee my pants. I almost pee pants. I had to go potty. You know, I got to bring the truth. You know, you guys need to know. You guys need to know that I had to run to the bathroom. You should look up his work on Instagram. Whose work? George Long at True Love. George Long at True Love Art in Seattle. That is just Sweden. I make a good investment, and they still just take 25%. What is going on? Okay, hold on. Let me scroll back here. Higher international. You had to sell your apartment. That I don't understand. Can you sell your apartment in Sweden? Is that the deal? Or was it like you owned it like a condo or something? Oh my god, what happened? What is going on over here? Okay. Sorry. My bad. Anyhow. I need to find someone in Seattle or Eastern Washington. Since Mind's Eye closed, I have been forlorn. Oh yeah, that's right. Mind's Eye closed. I forgot about that. Closed the studio for 19 months during COVID. Funded the gallery rent with the winnings from my condo. Oh man, that's hardcore. Did you not get any government support during COVID for having to close your business? That would be my interesting. That'd be my question. But my God, gifted subs it exists. I don't know how would. I don't know how to do that. I guess I can't gift subs on my own channel. There's like a way to do that. I don't know. In New York City and a lot of Europe, you often own your own apartment. Yeah, I mean, we just normally like refer to them as condos out here, so yeah, I guess maybe it's just a wording. Yeah. Okay. A wrist to shoulder, underwater seascape with a phoenix coming out of and a sun on the shoulder. All right. I can't afford an East Coast trip right now. Oh, yeah. A lot of tattooers moved to Mexico. A lot of tattooers just moved out of country, which I always find to be hilariously funny. It's like, well, I'm going to move to Thailand and I'll make a lot of money tattooing over there because I make a lot of money here. And you're like, who are you going to be tattooing in Thailand? Because they don't charge a lot of money for tattoos out there. No, that is why all big Swedish YouTubers move to other countries because of crazy taxes. Yeah, I don't know if that's I would have to know like what Swedish YouTubers like moved out in order to talk about that, because like there are a lot of big YouTubers that move, true, fact, but most of them move because they a lot of them move because of business opportunities, first off, and collaboration stuff and ad deals and stuff like that. Like, you can't necessarily be working with other YouTubers and living in Sweden because it's like a 16-hour flight. Well, I wonder how long is the flight? is it Stockholm is the international airport? So let's go Stockholm to LA. Oops, flight time. Oh, that's interesting. The LAX to Stockholm's only 11-hour flight time. Flight time from Stockholm to LA is 14 hours. Quickest one stop. Well, what the hell is this answer then? Well, that answer's all effed. Yeah. As I was about to say, I flew to Netherlands and it was longer than 10 hours. Flight time from Stockholm to Los Angeles is 14 hours, 25 minutes. Yeah, so it's like, if let's say you're working with a lot of other YouTubers and they're all in LA and you're like, oh, we've got a collab. Like, somebody's got to fly 16 hours plus, unless there's layovers or this or that or the other thing. I mean, it's basically an entire day. An entire day's gone. That's like one of the biggest issues. Like, a lot of the YouTubers that get really big, they relocate to the US because of that. Yeah. Um So Rebecca mentioned that like Washington has some pretty high taxes. No, Washington doesn't have high taxes. We're the 30th out of all 50. State and local tax burden is 10%. State and local individual income tax is 0. Does not have an individual income tax. Our sales tax is on the higher end, but like overall, we're 30th expensive out of 50. So we're on the bottom half of expensive, essentially. But our sales tax is pretty high. Yeah. So use tax, as far as like purchasing things, is fairly high. But yeah. Overall, our tax rate is 30th out of 50. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here is the well, that's state. Oops. Whoops. I pushed the wrong button. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean we pay a lot in sales tax, but the thing is, like, we vote on the sales tax, right? So, Washington State's sales tax burden is the second highest in the country at 4.6% on average per person. But we don't have an income tax. Well, we have property tax and sales tax. We have 2 of the 3, like most places have 2 of the 3. But I, personally, I would rather pay. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. The thing is, like, if I guess here's the deal. Like, I would be willing to pay a state income tax if they got rid of sales tax, right? Like, if you completely erased sales tax and then implemented like a 3% income tax or something like that, I would be like, I don't know. I'd have to do the math, but like, realistically, like with the sales tax situation, that we have here, it's like you just have to take into account of your spending, because there's a bunch of stuff that doesn't have sales tax, like food and things like that. But overall, yes, Norway, Sweden, stuff like that, the Nordic countries, like you guys do pay a higher, income tax, or you guys do pay overall higher tax rate, but you guys are less out of pocket than Americans are. So that's the hard comparison that like a lot of people aren't taking into account. So like a good example would be like obviously Crazy Aquarium guy is a small business owner. But as a small business owner in the United States, we pay 39% on your small business taxes, right? Yeah, I mean, small business owners pay a lot in taxes in the United States. Also, you also have to pay for your insurance out of pocket. We pay for a lot of stuff in the U.S. that you guys don't pay for in the Nordic countries. That's going to be the big difference. Like if I paid right now for my health insurance would be like $800 a month. And you guys already have health insurance just because you are standing on the ground, right? Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we pay for in the States that you guys don't pay for. You also one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is that so most people in Europe don't ever talk about their wage as gross versus net, right? Whereas in the States, if you said I make $100,000 a year, that would be your net income or gross income, right? Whereas everyone basically in the EU would say their net income, so after taxes, right? You guys don't even understand what net income is, right? So if you say let's say you say I make $100,000 a year in the U.S., right? But your tax burden is 24.5%. So let's see, U.S. tax rate scale. So ours is a sliding scale. You pay more. You pay a higher percentage the more that you make. So let's see. Let's say, so you make $100,000 a year. You pay 24% in taxes, right? So immediately, the actual number is 76, right? So you make 76,000 a year if you were relating that to somebody in the EU. But you're also going to have to pay for health insurance. You have to pay for car insurance. You have to make a car payment. You have to There's a very long list of crap that you're going to have to pay for in the U.S. that you really don't in Nordic countries. Now, that doesn't mean that like the Nordic countries are the perfect model of everything that has ever existed, but you guys do have a lot better system, in my opinion, than the current system in the United States. And like a good example would be your educational system is much higher. Your incarceration system is so much better than the one here. You actually do have a tendency to actually focus on reform versus we just put them in jail here and make them stay there, right? Andikin's here says we work for the first 3 months for free every year. Yeah, more or less. That's kind of what it boils down to. Mickham says, from what I know, Sweden has changed a lot of the tax levels in the recent 20 years. Taxes nowadays are quite low, or companies would leave, and in the U.S. you have to pay many different taxes for companies. Yeah, it's very weird here, in comparison. but like your educational system is a lot better. Like here's a good example. In the US, like most of the schools that you go to, like that kids go to, they have to pay for school lunch. It's like $2. How much is school lunch here? School lunch cost. Let's just do Washington because that's where I live. Because I wonder if it's changed since when I was in school. So if you're in high school, which means you're in the last 4 years of your early schooling, it's $4.50 a day. Yeah. So elementary school's $1.75 a day for breakfast, and lunch is $2.25. So like our school kids have to take money with them to school to pay for food while they're at school, right? Just as an example, right? So just as an example of something that everyone is going to experience, like going to school when you're a kid, right? So a parent over August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, not including the summer break, right? Because it just has the couple days in August. Will average pay $306 a year for breakfast for their kid if they have breakfast at school, secondary school, and $455 a year for lunches. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just stuff like that. It's just stuff like that where you think, where people in America think it's normal. Like people in the States go like, yeah, you go to school, you got to pay the lunch lady. You got to pay the lunch lady so you can get the lunch, right? And so, but like nobody in Europe would ever be like, oh yeah, you got to pay when you go to school to get the lunch, right? Yeah. Yeah, Crazy Aquarium guy says that it's true from 7 years old to college is pretty much for free, and it's stuff like that. The people. It's just like it's such a confusing topic to not have like an in-depth conversation about, right? That's why it's so easy to just go like, well, yeah, Nordic countries got it all figured out, which I don't think that they do. I certainly don't think that they do because there doesn't seem to be a single group of humans on this planet that just like got everything all sorted out. But I just say like the outcomes in the U.S. seem to be a lot lower than the outcomes in Europe, just on a human basis. Just like you're living a life and you're just existing. Yep. Yes, I understand everything's different in Europe. I understand that. I fully understand that all of Europe is different, but the EU, all the countries in the EU aren't that vastly, wildly, insanely different. They just, a lot of the structures are fairly similar. That's why the UK left. The UK was like, we're going off the deep end. We're going to do whatever we want. We're this crazy island out here. We're losing our minds, and we're just going to go bonkers, right? Look, man, almost every European I know that has come to the U.S. just thought that we would be able to go visit L.A. and Florida all in a day, right? So believe you me, I'm not saying that the EU is just one tiny little place and you guys are all exactly the same. You have a lot of different cultures all mashed together. So does the U.S. And the U.S. is quite large and it's different from area to area, but I'm just using that as an example. And the UK will not Borg. That's right. They will not. They will not go in there. Okay. It is it's 3:30 my time, which means we're getting to the point where I should probably go take care of some of the other stuff I got to take care of today. But we did get we we got a bunch of new members today. We got a bunch of new members thanks to Aubrey and Rebecca for gifting subscriptions. We actually have that now. We have gifting subscription exists on this channel. So if you guys are interested in me ending up getting a moist tattoo, start gifting some subs to people, and then we'll get that and make them happen. Yeah. Yeah, I'll agree. Russia is terrible. Yeah, and they're not in the EU. Is Russia in the EU? Are they? They might be. No, Russia's not in the EU. Yeah, I was like, I swear they're not, but I was like, I could be wrong. I don't know everything. We see that you're using an ad blocker. All right, well, then I'm not going to go to your website. If you're so worried about the half of a cent that you're going to make from me seeing an ad on your website, then I'm not going to go there. Yeah, Russia's like a crazy oligarchy, and I don't want to be involved in dealing with any kind of oligarchy nonsense. I don't like that. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for the stream. New local Austin. Wow, what a great day. Aubrey. Thank you, Aubrey. Yeah. Big thanks to Aubrey. A crazy aquarium guy, I can't gift you one. I don't know how. I don't know how to do that. I've seen people do it. I've seen people donate. Oh, I wonder. Oh, I can't gift subs. I could do a super chat apparently on this thing, but I can't give subs. I've seen people do it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out like how people did that. But gifting subs is active because Aubrey figured out how to do it, and Rebecca figured out how to do it. Who was the first? Actually, let's go back. I think Rebecca was the first. Let's scroll back. Yeah, Rebecca was first. Yeah, Rebecca was first, and then Aubrey figured it out. Oh my God, Rebecca, did you gift another one? Oh my God, you gifted another one. Oh, and Jen, you got it. You can't figure. That's the thing that I figured out. You can't choose who it goes to. Like people just have to have it enabled. So Crazy Aquarium guy, you're gonna have to make sure it's enabled, and then yeah. So I was on a stream a while ago, and somebody was donating like lumps of 100 subs at a time. I think they were doing 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 or something. And I actually got subbed to it. I got a gifted sub to a channel that I was like, oh, whoa, okay, well, that's wild. I guess I'll be a gifted sub for a little bit. But here's the thing, like the gifted sub thing, like there's a perfect example. If people have the gifted sub enabled, if the people have the gifted sub enabled, it will pick them out of people. So you can actually motivate people that haven't been to the channel in a long time, and they'll get gifted a sub, and then they'll be like, "Oh my God, I haven't showed up to watch that channel at all in a million years," and they'll suddenly show up, just like what's his name from earlier. He has a bunch of numbers in his name. Yeah. New local Austin has a good point. Crazy Aquarium guy, just show up and chat. I get gifted a lot because I ride these streams like I don't want to hear anything but fish, which is true. I mean, that's probably true. New local Austin, it's probably accurate. You probably only ever want to hear fish. I hear that a lot from like fish people on the internet. They're just like, dude, I don't want to hear about nothing. But like a perfect example of that. So I got this comment the other day, and I just thought it was funny. I thought it was so funny. Okay, go here. So I don't want to show this person's name. Hold on. Add source. Where is the goofy... Oh, no. Man, I swear they keep changing these buttons on me. Export cam, game capture? No, desktop capture. Smart selection. There it is. Okay, here we go. I don't want to accidentally show this person's thing on here because it's a pretty ridiculous comment, but here you go. I'll make it bigger so you can read it, but I'll read it out loud to the people that don't. Oh my God, what do we got? The best nude dating site? Where's the mods at? Oh my God, I clicked out of the chat and that's what happens. Oh my God! What are we looking for here? What are we looking for? Oh, pornography. There we go. That's what we got to put them in as. Okay. And then we report them, and then we report them, and then we report them, and then we report them. Oh, the moist tattoo poll. We got cursive. Came in at 67%. Okay, we've ended the poll. Hide user on this channel. There we go. There. Okay. That just took a second. All of our mods were sleeping. We were all sleeping because it's the end of the show. Okay. What were we saying here? Oh, I had to click back over to here. No. Yes. Here we go. Yeah. So here's the comment that we got. It says, I was a little excited to see this store. Once I got past the homeless and the vomit on the street, I got the wear Joe mask. I don't wear masks, so I didn't get to see inside. This is the whole comment. This is the entirety of the comment. Right? On a store tour video, I don't know when I did this video, but it was a few years ago. Before COVID. So whenever this was before COVID. Right? So the Alana says, lol, what are we looking for? Pornography? When you report a channel, you have reasons for reporting them. And anyhow, so back to this comment. Like, what am I supposed to do for this person who's making this comment, right? Like, okay, you were a little excited to see the store. Okay, cool. Word. I guess you were a little excited. Once I got past the homeless and the vomit on the street, I got the wear your mask, okay? Which is like, I guess people at the store want you to wear a mask, probably because you were coughing and sneezing and being a human being, and they probably didn't want your germs all over them, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they just have a mask policy because they don't want you to be gross in their store. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to look at your teeth. Maybe they want to smell your halitosis. I don't know. And maybe it's COVID related. I don't know. But then your answer was, I don't wear masks, so I don't get to see the inside. Okay. Like you're essentially explaining here that you're like the weakest person on the planet, right? You're the weakest, most feeble-minded, feeble physically, feeble everything. You have no fortitude. You have nothing good going on here. Right? But then it's like, what am I supposed to do for this commenter? Right? Like, what am I supposed to do for this person? Like, I don't know. Maybe just put on a paper mask for a half an hour to walk around a store? Like, what's the problem? I don't know. I guess you're just too tough to wear a mask or something. But, like, that's, like, what am I supposed to do for these homies, right? Like, what am I supposed to do for that guy? It happens to be a guy. He's a bearded man in the picture. But, like, what am I supposed to do here for somebody who's, like, just has, like, a total lack of character or just, like, ability to deal with anything that's going on in the world, right? Like, I don't wear masks. Somebody vomited on the street. There was a homeless person. I didn't get to see the store. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you want me to do for you? What is it that you would like me to handle for you? Definitely a bummer that there were homeless people. Definitely a bummer that there was vomit outside, apparently. Like, I know which store it is, and the store happens to be in a very, very rough and ready part of town, right? And I think the reason for that is that it costs a lot of money to rent a retail store in an expensive part of town, right? In a very, like, fancy pants part of town, right? Like, if you want your store to be on 5th Avenue in downtown New York, right? It'd probably be pretty expensive. You want your fish store to be in Beverly Hills, right? It's going to be pretty expensive. Do you want your fish store to be in wait, hold on. Hold on a second, guys. If you want your fish store to be on Ocean Boulevard, Palm Beach, Florida, how expensive do you think the fish are going to be? How expensive do you think the fish are going to be? Like, the fish stores are not going to be in the best part of town because most fish store owners, especially small ones, can't afford to be in the most expensive part of town, right? It takes a lot of square footage to put a store together, regardless of, even if it's the smallest store you've ever been to, it's still going to be like 1,500 square feet, 1,200 square feet of retail space, right? Like, it's going to be expensive. So they're going to be in the cheaper part of town, which, generally speaking, has more trouble policing the homeless population and whatnot, right? So, yeah. But then it's like, but I don't wear masks, so I didn't even go to the store. So it's like, you self-appointedly navigated all of these extraordinary hazards like vomit and homeless people and all that, right? But then you couldn't handle just acquiescing to the people that work there saying, hey, can you put on a mask while you're here, right? Like, how, like, I mean, if you're an adult by now and you can't deal with it, then there's nothing I can really do for you. I'm sorry. There just is nothing there's nothing I can do for you, right? That's going to make you feel better. So, I don't know. Maybe hit the gym, do a little working out, maybe read some books, and then, maybe you'll calm down and be able to throw on a mask for 20 minutes while you go into a store. I don't know. Maybe the people that were working there were sick, and they were trying to keep you from getting sick. I don't know. It's definitely a thing that could have been happening, though. Yep, Crazy Aquarium Guy. I think you need to approve some setting for your channel. Oh yeah, I think it's you click on the super chat button, and then you enable accepting gifts. Yeah. So the little $ down at the bottom of chat, you click on that, and then you can do accept gifted subs. Gifted subs. U.S. Scaber showed up, said thanks for the gift, whoever sent it to you. It was Aubrey. Aubrey, shout out to Aubrey. He's the man. He's the man. He's the man. And by the way, I really want to go to Vivarium. I really do. I desperately want to go to Vivarium, but I almost considered, like, wait a minute. I could probably fly out to visit Aubrey and go fishing. I could probably fly out and visit Aubrey to go do some fishing for a couple days and fly back, and, like, nobody will know I was even gone. Right? I don't know. And I don't think Vicky would be jealous of that because it's not international travel. Yeah. You know, the other option I had to try to go to Vivarium was I could try to convince Corey to act like it was a work thing. So I could tell it to Vicky, like, yeah, Corey needs me to go. Which he has needed me to go in the past, but then I thought, man, that's real uncool to, like, fake that. So I was like, no, that's just, it would have to be a joke. Just reading my emails. The Python I bought last week can't be supplied. They're offering a refund. Kiwi Mama, I'm sorry to hear that. That is a bummer, but they will likely be more Pythons being made. So I would. That is a bummer, but they will come back if whoever you're getting it from. I think I might ask to opt into gift subs in the super chat area. Yeah. Aubrey says I would rather fly up there and do some fishing. That could be arranged. Yeah. Maybe we'll have to figure that out. I don't know. Somebody hit me up on the Discord. I'm hanging up on the Discord now. I'm leaving the voice chat. Nobody even called in today. So anyhow, okay. Yeah, I guess it's the end of the show. I got it. Oh my God, I've been dilly-dallying around over here.